So now, boys and girls, any of you from Dungarvan will, if you've been to the church recently, the stained glass windows in the side there, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but for a while some of them were taken out, so there was just plain glass, and now the stained glass is put back in. They were sent off to foreign lands to be cleaned and restored and the whole lot, and now they're back. But they're absolutely stunning, they're beautiful. And I remember hearing a story of a little boy who was getting a tour of the church. So he was walking around the church, and you know the way little boys, they're great, they have loads of questions, and every answer is followed with a why. So he was like, what's that? And the mom was like, that's the altar. That's where Jesus comes. Okay. Oh, what's that? That's where Jesus lives after Mass. Okay. And what's that? And pointing to the windows. And she said, oh, they're the stained glass windows. They're different pictures of saints, and that's we put them up so we can see them. You know, the sun shines through them, so we can see the saints. And that was great anyway. So he went to school, and in school the teacher said, okay, now guys, today we're going to learn about saints. Anybody know what a saint is? And this little Johnny put up his hand all proud and smiling happy out, and he says, I know what a saint is. And she said, great, what's a saint? And I said, a saint is someone who lets the light in. A saint is someone who lets the light in. Because he was thinking of the stained glass windows. So the light comes in through the saint into the church. This is what our gospel is about today, you know. That if you have a manky tree, not exactly biblical terminology, but close enough. If you have a manky tree, manky fruit. Right? Good tree, good fruit. So if we're full of good stuff inside, what comes out of it is good. What comes out of us is good. If we're full of joy and we're full of love, then if we see people, then we react with love and joy because we're full of it. Whereas if you're full of kind of, when you see someone, right? Because you're full of anger and bitterness and just want to not be joyful. So yeah, whatever we fill our hearts with, that's what comes out. So imagine what happens if you fill your heart with God. Imagine what happens if you fill your heart with love for Jesus. Then when we meet people, what comes out? Love for Jesus. Dare I say, even grace. Okay, there's a little Italian chap named Carlo, who was born a long, long time ago in 1991 in Italy, in Milan. And he was a very smart young boy. At the age of about 3 months, he started saying his first words, and about 5 months, he was starting to say short sentences. So a smart kid. And when he went to school, the academics weren't any problem, and he was popular. He was popular with the other boys and girls because he seemed to actually care about people. He listened to people, he took care of people, so people liked him. Now, his family didn't exactly go to Mass that often. They'd go to Mass on Sunday occasionally, but if they missed a Sunday, it wasn't the end of the world for them. But Carlo had a very special heart, right? And in this gentle heart of his, he really wanted to love God. So when he'd go for little walks with his mom as a young boy, he loved going into the church. And he'd actually pick flowers along the way and bring them over to the statue of Our Lady in the church and leave the flowers at Our Lady's feet. Now, his mom wasn't telling him to do this because she didn't always go to Mass herself. No offence, but it's just the way it is. And she would do this. So he would do this out of the love that he discovered in his own heart for God. The love that he discovered in his own heart for Our Lady. So he loved going to the church. Then when he was a young boy, he did normal things, right? He played the PlayStation, which is still around in our own day today. So he played PlayStation games, but he would put a limit on himself. So he wouldn't say, oh, wow, I have the weekend now, so I'm going to spend like 20 hours a day, which is like almost all day, like on the PlayStation. I'm going to finish FIFA 99. There was none of that. He'd have an hour, and then I'm going to go out and play soccer, meet the friends, whatever it is. Another thing he used to do as a teenager was with his mom, because he was young. He would go out on the streets of Milan with sleeping bags and food and help the people on the streets there, the homeless. Okay, so all was good, but he developed this really profound love for God, and not only a love for God in general, but a love for Jesus in the Eucharist. He said, the Eucharist is my highway to heaven. The Eucharist is my highway to heaven. And he was good with computers and a smart kid, so he built a website to summarize and pull together all of the Eucharistic miracles. But the website is still there today. So just this love for that. He wanted people to know about Jesus in the Eucharist. So he built this website that people could access for free and find out about Lanciano and Buenos Aires and all these other places. Okay. He said he believed that if people understood the true presence of Christ in the Eucharist and the amazing graces we receive from it, your lives will be transformed. So he felt this mission to bring people close to Jesus, little Carlo. So great guy altogether. There's one line here, a quotation from him, something he said, which it sounds like it's said by a guy 3 times his age. He said, what does it matter if you win 1,000 battles if you cannot win against your own corrupt passions? Now, for those who might be a little younger watching this, that means, what does it matter if I'm a big soldier and I win lots of battles if inside I can't say no to watching TV all weekend, or inside my sister, my brother, my mother, whoever it is, needs help and I couldn't be bothered? I can't win these battles in here. What does it matter then if I'm actually a good soldier, if I haven't won these important battles in here? You know, that's real masculinity, dare I say. But again, let's not digress. So, at the age of 15, so after having built this website with the Eucharistic miracles, after having helped the poor on the streets of Milan, after being such a popular boy at school and playing the bit of soccer and all this kind of thing, he was diagnosed with leukemia. Right? Leukemia is like blood cancer. So he unfortunately knew he was going to die. It was very serious, and it was a very, very rapid form of leukemia, so he knew that he wasn't going to be here for long. And so he said to his mom, he said, all people are born as originals, but many people die as photocopies. Right, now, not everyone might get that for the kids out there. What it means is God has created you to do something special, but at times we spend our lives just trying to be like everyone else, I just want to be the same, I just want to be like everyone else. So we're born as originals, but we just want to die as photocopies. I just want to be, everyone else has their hair green, okay, green it is. Everyone else wears jeans with those massive holes in them, like you just crawled out from under a train wreck, so be it, train wreck jeans it is, you know. So we're born as originals, but we die as photocopies. But he said, no, I just want to be me. And so the leukemia caused him a lot of pain. And so he said that, look, I want to offer this up for the church and for the Holy Father. He died at the age of 15 in 2006 and has already been beatified. So he's Blessed Carlo Acutis. Blessed Carlo Acutis. At his funeral, thousands of poor and homeless people turned up because they remembered this guy who came out with his mom, because it was late and dark, who came out late at night to help them with food and sleeping bags and shelter. So all these randomers that people didn't know Carlo was helping at all turned up for the funeral. Beautiful funeral with thousands of people, and a testament to the joy of the man and the love of the man who died, as I say, at 15. Okay, so from a good tree comes good fruit. He was filled with love for the Lord. So what came out of him? Love for the Lord. If he was filled with just a desire to finish this computer game, then what would have come out of him? Talk about computer games, more than likely. But he ends up talking about the Lord and witnessing to the Lord because he loved the Lord. So this is what kind of the slightly more serious part, I suppose, of our summer camp. When we know the Lord, when he begins to fill our hearts, then this mission that we have becomes all the more important. You've now been entrusted with a mission by God to help people understand how much they are loved by him, and to help people understand how great our calling is to get to heaven. Before he died, he said, I die happy because I did not waste my life doing things that weren't pleasing to God. I die happy because I did not waste my life doing things that are not pleasing to God. So brothers and sisters, boys and girls, this little guy, Carlo, is such a wonderful example to each one of us, young and old, of what we can do when we're filled with love for the Lord. And so we ask Blessed Carlo to pray for us today, along with St. Peter Chrysogilus, whose feast day it is today. We ask them to bless each one of us, along with St. Therese, of course, who we were walking with throughout the week and all the different activities that you did as regards St. Teresa of Lisieux, the little flower. We ask her to pray for each one of you and your families too. Amen.